Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Now we have taken these two questions. Now we come to the third question. So when we are looking at science of something, we need to be able to understand our goal. So we take a project and we say, okay, we defined what a project is. We said project needs more science, project management needs more science. One of the scientific approaches is to know your goal and work your way towards a goal. So what are the goals of project management? What are the objectives of a project? What does a project do? So let's take put up an image here to help you. Let's say, so this is an apartment complex. Let's say you're getting as a customer, or as let us say either as an engineer or as a customer, you want this, you're going to invest in this, you're going to be part of this. What are your objectives?
Project completion.
Completion, yes.
Within what time?
Okay.
Within the stipulated time.
So time, cost, quality,
Completion. Safety.
what do you mean by safety?
So the structure should be able to
Right.
withstand loads.
So there is a safety, you don't want it collapsing. So one thing is about the safety of the structure itself
And the laborers.
and the safety of it being constructed. So when it was constructed, you want to make sure that you are not living in a place which took many people, got many people injured or something like that. So from a construction point of view, safety is important. Anything else?
I think completion is also important. Completion is first.
Completion. But all this, we are assuming at completion you should have met the time deadline, you should have met cost expectations, quality, safety. Yes, environmental considerations. Today that's become very important. Okay. So typically these are the objectives of a project. There might be other objectives. Okay, they, for example, they say good team building, project specific objectives are also there. If it is a social cause, you might say, if a project is from a social perspective, social upliftment, there are other things which can come. And the next issue which we want to discuss is what do you think is the priority today? So these are objectives.
Time.
Cost and
Time.
Cost and
Cost mostly. Next.
Okay, is it cost? Is it so is this the priority or is this the priority?
client's
Building commercial
perspective.
buildings
Depends on the
cost,
project
but
again.
some like roads and these things time.
Okay, okay,
Stadiums.
Space shuttles, for example, where time is.
right. So there are certainly many projects. Now you are saying cost and time. Can we compromise on quality?
No.
So we are assuming this is cost and time given acceptable quality. Given acceptable quality. Okay, you will not accept a very shoddy place immaterial of cost and time. Except we were saying quality should be acceptable. So what you are saying is basically right. There is it certainly used to be cost first, time earlier on. Okay, especially in the Indian context, if you go back 20-30 years, people didn't put so much importance to time. Cost was all encompassing. Okay, now today that time has become almost, in most projects, it's become a high priority. You take Chennai Metro. Okay, yes, time, people are looking at the deadline. The whole public is looking when it is going to be opened. There are other projects which were started and gone on for nearly 25 years before it was opened, and it didn't matter those days. But today you cannot have Chennai Metro go on for 10 years. It has to start open, and so time is a priority. Now it is such a priority that the owners, the contractors, especially the owners, are willing to pay more to finish on time. Why?
Depends on the importance of the constructed facility.
Yes, anything else?
Because if it finishes early,
They could break even.
the cost, the money we are getting it later, profits might be
Exactly,
more,
exactly. So when you look at a project's life cycle, okay, when you finish early and you start generating income from the project, you actually make up whatever money you spent in the construction phase. So if you look ultimately from a corporate standpoint, all businesses are in the business of making money. If you are looking especially from a private perspective, it becomes, all this gets related to cost or profit. So I would put cost or profit, all of it. I am even putting environment, safety, everything gets related to this. Okay, this is from a business sense point of view. So if, for example, today time is important, because take the real estate, land value is so high. If I finish a project early and start getting rent out of it, I mean I offset any kind of acceleration cost on my construction very quickly, and that construction phase is only 2 odd years or 3 years max. My income phase is so many more years. Okay, so this is the reason today that time has become very important. Let us say quality is something we are taking care. Why is safety not so important today in our context?
Additional cost.
One is people perceive this additional cost. Two is, yes, there are very good standards in the country, but there's little enforcement, and also people don't pay for poor safety. So a lot of in a lot of the developed countries, people started implementing safety only because if there was a safety violation, it really affected your bottom line. Okay. Similarly, environment is very new. Okay, we are not even sure what are the policies for the environment. Things are getting only clear now. But again, if you make, say today for example, a green building is a very popular concept. Why? Is that why it is so popular? Is that the only reason why it is popular?
It's actually energy efficient basically.
Okay, one is it's energy efficient,
material efficient.
material efficient, all of that is there, but it is also that people build green buildings because more people will want to buy a green, invest in a green building. So it really comes down to a business requirement. Okay, so we now move on to the fourth question. So we understood what the objectives of a project are, and we now want to combine actually the second question and the third question and say how do we scientifically manage these objectives. Okay, so we went to cost, how do we scientifically manage cost, how do we scientifically manage time, how do we scientifically manage quality, safety, environment. And if you actually go back even just 2 decades, the answers to this would be each company would have a different practice. Okay, it would not be what, there is no standardized method. If you ask me today how do you design a reinforced concrete building, how would you answer me? What would you refer me to? Code. Okay, you will say IS 456 has a reasonable way of, if you follow the practice there, I can get a most kind of buildings, standard buildings I can do. And this has also been the approach to scientifically approach these project objectives, which is the establishment of standards for scientific management. Okay, and you have seen, I have actually put, so one of the pioneering standards was the project management body of knowledge, or PMBOK. Okay, released by PMI. Now the ISO standards, which are very popular, the ISO has also now got a standard for project management. Okay, it is ISO 21500, guide to project management, very similar to the PMI standard. The Indian standards has also got a guide for project management, 15883, and so these standards are quite closely related. Okay, and if you actually go into these standards, you will find I've kind of given a broad outline. You will find there are sections on integration, scope, time, cost, quality, human resources, communication, risk, procurement, stakeholders, health, safety, environment, other management issues, Okay, all of these, so you can see some of the objectives which we explicitly define, time, cost, quality, okay, are there, quality, and then when you look at health and safety, okay, and environment, all of these are there. These other parts, for example, without human resource development you cannot achieve these objectives. So the other parts of it are supporting processes which help us achieve these objectives, okay. So this is actually what you call a process standard, which is that if you do things right, the results will be correct. It is not a product standard saying that, oh, this is what I expect out of the product, it is a process standard. Now this is also supported by, you are familiar with the standard, you heard of it, right? What does it do? 9001 to
certification for quality.
for quality management.